Our story begins in 1967 in Seattle, USA, focusing on a deeply in love couple from their childhood, Iris and Paul. One day, Paul takes Iris to a newly opened skyscraper restaurant called the Skyview to propose. When Paul presents the ring and asks, "Will you marry me?" Iris happily says yes. As Paul slips the ring onto her finger, Iris notices a young boy on a floor below them flipping a coin against the building's window. The coin, instead of falling to the ground, is deflected and gets lodged in a vent, stopping the ventilator's fan. Inside the restaurant, the patrons, including a man named Holly, are celebrating. Due to their vigorous stomping and the poor quality of the glass, the entire glass floor begins to crack. To make matters worse, the steel beams supporting the floor, stressed by the commotion, start to groan and buckle. Shortly after, the lodged coin dislodges, puncturing a gas cylinder tube. Gas begins to leak into the building, causing most people to plummet to their deaths. Holly also falls but gets impaled on a piece of broken glass, surviving for the moment. However, as Iris is being rescued, the glass supporting Holly breaks, and he falls to his death. The remaining survivors are thrown into chaos. One woman gets caught on a food warmer's flame, and in her panic, she triggers the fire suppression system cylinder, which spins out of control, setting many people on fire. Iris and a few others miraculously survive. Following the explosion, the building's concrete begins to collapse. Everyone rushes towards the emergency exit, but the boy who flipped the coin doesn't run, causing the staircase to collapse behind him and blocking the escape for others. In the ensuing panic, Iris, now a widow, tries to force her way into an overcrowded elevator. An elderly man shoves her aside. As he struggles to enter the packed elevator, it becomes overloaded. The elevator's cable snaps, crushing the elderly man and killing everyone inside. Next, the remaining floor section begins to tilt slowly. Iris quickly grabs onto something to stop herself, but others slide away. A massive grand piano from the restaurant slides across the floor, crashes through the glass wall, and drags everyone down with it. The boy who flipped the coin, who had survived the initial disaster, is on the ground below and is killed when the falling piano lands on his head. Now alone in the restaurant, Iris sees Holly, still alive and impaled, struggling and tries to save him. However, as Iris and the boy's body slide, Iris's finger, with the ring on it, gets caught on a metal fragment, severing her finger and causing her to fall to her death alongside the boy. At this moment, a university student named Stephanie is watching this entire tragic event unfold in a premonition during a lecture. Terrified, she screams, startling her classmates. She tells her friend everything she saw, specifically describing a woman named Iris. Her friend suggests she go ask her grandmother about it. The next day, Stephanie visits her father, Martin, and asks about her grandmother, Iris. Martin is reluctant to talk about her. Meanwhile, Stephanie's younger brother, Charlie, is going to visit their uncle, Howard. Stephanie decides to join him. Charlie and Stephanie arrive at their uncle Howard's house. Howard's wife, Brenda, and their children, Eric, Bobby, and Julia, greet them. When Stephanie asks Howard about her grandmother, Iris, he and Brenda are shocked by the question. Stephanie explains that for 2 months, she has had recurring visions of Iris and Paul dying in the Skyview restaurant. Upon hearing this, Howard reveals that after Iris and Paul died, he took in Stephanie's mother, Darlene, but kept her isolated at home for years until the police intervened. He also confesses that he and Darlene used to blackmail Iris before her death, and that after Iris died, Darlene started receiving threatening letters telling her to prepare for death. Stephanie, wanting to see the letters, finds them in Brenda's room. She finds a photo of her grandmother, Iris, and realizes she is the exact woman from her visions. Stephanie takes the address from the letters and travels to a remote house. She arrives at a house surrounded by a fence and announces through an intercom that she is looking for Iris. A voice responds, and an automatic metal gate opens, letting her in. As Stephanie enters, a fire extinguisher cylinder falls to the ground outside. Once inside, her grandmother, Iris, tells her to sit. Stephanie sits and recounts the premonition she has had for 2 months. Iris reveals that what Stephanie saw was not a premonition, but an actual past event. Iris explains that years ago, at the restaurant opening, she also had a similar vision. Because of it, she prevented the boy from flipping the coin and warned the people stomping on the glass, thereby saving everyone. However, she confesses that she herself caused the accident that killed everyone, including her husband Paul, and has been hiding for the past 20 years. To demonstrate her power, Iris holds a piece of glass up to the sunlight, focusing the beam onto a nearby tree, which begins to smoke. She explains that death has begun its work and puts the glass down. Iris tells Stephanie that she has inherited her ability to see death's design and asks her to stay and master it. Stephanie, not believing her, tries to leave. Iris follows her, insisting she take her books on death. As Stephanie takes the book, a powerful wind blows, causing a fire extinguisher cylinder from the roof to fall, its nozzle forcing its way into Iris's mouth and killing her. At Iris's funeral, all the relatives gather. Stephanie's mother, Darlene, who has been missing for a long time, also arrives. Stephanie tells the relatives that her grandmother was killed by death, but they don't believe her. Later, Stephanie has a vision of a porch swing collapsing and killing one of her relatives. She rushes to Howard's house to warn them. Inside, as people mingle, Martin is about to drink from a cup that has a crack in it when someone calls him away, and he sets the drink down. Bobby and Charlie are jumping on a trampoline, which unexpectedly starts to tear. Darlene sees a sharp piece of metal underneath it and removes it. When Stephanie arrives, Howard goes to greet her. At that moment, Charlie jumps, the trampoline rips, and Bobby's foot goes through, injuring him. Julia turns to see what happened and accidentally knocks over the cracked drink Martin had set aside. The glass shatters, and the liquid spills onto an electrical outlet, electrocuting Howard, who falls and dies. Later, while Stephanie is on a morning walk, she sees Eric's wife, Julia, jogging. Some kids playing football kick the ball hard, hitting Julia in the head and knocking her into a trash bin. At that moment, a garbage truck arrives, picks up the bin with Julia inside, and compacts it, killing her. Stephanie, who was running behind, tries to stop the truck, but the driver is listening to music with earphones and doesn't hear her. She tries to open the truck but can't, and Julia is crushed to death. After Julia's death, the family finally believes Stephanie. They ask how to escape death, and Stephanie, reading from Iris's book, mentions that a man named Jeb once cheated death and now works in a hospital. They rush to the hospital to find him. There, Stephanie realizes that Jeb is the young boy from her vision, the one Iris tried to save in the original timeline. When they ask Jeb how he cheated death, he explains that to escape death, one must take another life in their place. Otherwise, if they are saved from a fatal situation, death will later reclaim them. Following Jeb's advice, Eric, who has an oat allergy, tricks his brother Bobby into eating a granola bar containing oats. When Bobby has a severe allergic reaction and doctors try to revive him, Eric intervenes, claiming they are killing him. The two brothers then go to a vending machine to get an antidote. The machine takes their money but doesn't release the item. Enraged, Eric kicks the machine. As they try to force it open, Eric, who is wearing metal rings, gets his hand caught in a powerful electromagnet machine used for retrieving items. It painfully drags him in, and a nearby wheelchair is also pulled in, crushing and killing Eric. Bobby, suffering from the allergic reaction, stumbles around trying to help his brother. A nurse opens their room door, which causes a metal spring from the broken vending machine to be launched by the magnet machine, striking Bobby in the head and killing him. After the deaths of Eric and Bobby, Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie, devastated, decide to spend their remaining time at Iris's hidden house. As they get into the car, a coin falls from Stephanie's book, and an old woman picks it up. They drive to Iris's house, but a fallen electrical pole blocks the road. Without slowing down, Stephanie crashes through the gate. Darlene and Charlie quickly get out and run towards the house. As they do, a loose electrical wire falls onto Iris's house, causing an explosion that kills Charlie. The car Stephanie is in is also thrown into a water reservoir. Stephanie manages to escape the sinking car, and Darlene miraculously pulls her to safety, saving her from death. Believing that because Stephanie died in the water and was revived, they have now cheated death, they return home happily. A week later, Charlie and Stephanie go to a doctor's friend's birthday party. When Stephanie tells the doctor how she cheated death by drowning, he is horrified. He explains that someone who survives a near-death experience cannot cheat death. Her survival was just a delay, a mistake. As Stephanie processes this, the coin the old woman picked up rolls away, gets stuck on a railway track, and bends it out of shape. An oncoming train is derailed by the bent track and plows through the party, killing many people. In the chaos, a large piece of lumber from the train's cargo is sent flying and strikes Stephanie and Charlie, killing them both instantly. And with that, our story ends. Thank you for watching. If love our story, subscribe.